Hey guys, welcome back to While You Were Cleaning. Today I have a Thanksgiving tablescape to share with you. All of the items that you'll see in today's video are from Dollar Tree, or you can buy very similar items at Dollar Tree. And all of these items are ones that I purchased before this video was even an idea for me. And what I wanted to do in today's video is just show you how you can use some items that you may already have in order to put together Thanksgiving decorations this year. You don't have to go out and buy something new. You can just work off of what you have. So we'll go ahead and get into this video and see how I put this all together. First, I'll be making some place cards, and for those, I'll be using some of these short, kind of stubby wood pieces. I'll also be using some of these chalkboard tags and some of these rub-on transfer pumpkin stickers. And then I'll be using one of the metallic markers. I actually ended up finding my white one, so I'll be using the white one instead, but they do have them in several colors there in the store. So this is the gold one. This is the one I almost used, but then found the white one. On this chalkboard tag, I'm gonna add one of these pumpkin rub-on stickers. And these are so easy to work with, so you can just use your fingernail. I used a popsicle stick to rub them on. There's also special tools for rubbing on stickers, but the popsicle stick worked just fine. And I did that to all of the place cards that I was putting together. And then you can use a metallic marker. These are my favorite over some of the chalkboard markers that they have there in the store. These ones are a little bit easier to work with. They just draw a little bit nicer on the dark black chalkboard tag. I'm just writing welcome here so you can see how it looks, but then on these as name tags, you'll want to put people's names on them, or you can put just a nice little message if you want. In the center of one of those wood pieces, or all of the wood pieces that you'll be using, depending on how many place settings you're doing, you can go ahead and drill a hole. If you don't have a drill, you could just use a nail and hammer it in there and then take it back out also. And then I used a skewer that would fit right down into that hole, and I glued that skewer to the back of my tag. And then now I can just take my tag and stick it right into the center of that wood piece. Next, I'm going to use some of these velvet pumpkins and then also some of these eucalyptus stems. And these are going to go in some vases that I found at Dollar Tree. So I just kind of stuck the pumpkins into the center of the stem, and then I used a piece of string to tie them really tight together so that they stay together while they're sitting in the vase. And then you can see here, they don't fall to opposite sides, they're staying together, and then you can pull those apart as well so that they kind of flare out a little bit more. And then I'm going to be using some of this buffalo check ribbon. This is the thinner one that you can find there in the store, and I'm just going to tie a bow around the top of this vase. I did find these vases maybe a month or two ago there at Dollar Tree, and then I just added my floral to the top and it's all finished. Next, I'll be using some 3.5-inch wide ribbon and then also some 2.5-inch wide ribbon. I chose these colors because I think they just go with the color scheme that I have. And I'm going to cut off about a 5-inch length of each of these, and they're going to be one on top of the other. We'll be making a little pouch to put some silverware in. So this is some silverware that I picked up. It's disposable. I got it there from Dollar Tree. And then also to finish off this project, I'll be using some of these wooden words. I think that they are just really cute and perfect for setting on top of a place setting or on top of a plate. With my ribbon, I went ahead and glued down the end of my 2.5-inch wide ribbon on top of the 3.5-inch wide. And then once both ends were glued down, I turned this over and I folded in the ribbon to the center point on the back and glued that in place. So it makes kind of a little pouch. Added some glue to the bottom and then folded up the bottom. You can see here how the silverware can just sit right inside. You could add a spoon as well, and then the words will go right on top. Next, I'm going to add some brown paper to my table. Now, this is a roll that I already had, but they do have brown paper there at Dollar Tree. So I went ahead and just rolled it out to the length of my table, and then it's not going to stay in the center of my table, which you could do that if you wanted to, but I'm going to put this underneath where my plates are going to go. And so I went ahead and folded it in half, just lined up those two straight edges, created a crease down the center, and then cut right down that crease and used that as a guide so I knew where the halfway point was. And my kitty was so interested in what was going on here. She was going to get herself hurt. She was just going right for those scissors. Once I was done cutting it in half, I moved it out to the edge part of the table and then went ahead and set my plates on top to hold it in place. I just wanted to see how much space I had left to work with on the center of the table, so I wanted to have these on here first. Next, I'm going to add some groups of leaves down the center of the table. I did add some that had those little pumpkins on them, and then some of the maple leaves that did not have the pumpkins. I just tried to spread them out the best I could so that it looked a little bit fuller. So then I did pumpkin, no pumpkin, pumpkin, and then I started going out the other direction with the pumpkin, the no pumpkin, and then the pumpkin again, if that makes sense. I found these candle holders a little bit earlier this year at Dollar Tree. Of course, you can use any candle holders that you have. I really like how these ones have a little bit of a lower profile. And then I picked up some tapered candles from there in the store and added those. And then I noticed that I could kind of spread this out a little bit more because I will be filling in with a few other things. So just spread out my leaves a little bit and then added in those vases. Once I had those vases in place, I came back in with some of these eucalyptus greenery pieces and just added them throughout just to add some green to the table part. Also, along the center of the table, I wanted to add some larger pumpkins. So I had some buffalo check fabric ones and then also some of these velvet type pumpkins. And all of these did come from Dollar Tree. And I just placed those in a few places along the center. I used 6 of these. You could use more or less depending on how long your table is or how many pumpkins you like to have on your table. And then the last thing that I'm going to be adding are some of these beads. So I added 2 strands of the wooden beads. One of them went to the center, and then on the other side I did one on the other half of the table. To finish off the table settings, I went ahead and folded my paper under at the end, and then where it's folded under, I'm just going to roll up some tape and tape down the end of this underneath where the paper is. So I roll it up, or you can use some double-sided tape as well. You just want to make sure you don't use something that can mess up your table. These plates I've had for a while. They're a great size for Thanksgiving and Christmas. On them, I added one of the napkins that I found at Dollar Tree, and then my silverware pouch with the silverware inside, and then one of these little groups of wooden words. And then above it, I added a ball jar for drinks, and then added my little place card there. And that is all there is to it. I just repeated the place setting going around the table, so it made up 4. That's just what I used for this video. There's 5 in our family. It feels a little bit weird to add 1 to the end, but you do have room to add 1 to the end of the table if you wanted to. But here's how it all looks finished, and I'd love to hear your ideas down in the comments, what you might add to this, what you may have in your home that you could put together a similar tablescape with. And I hope that this has given you some ideas of what you can do with what you may already have in your home. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope that it has been helpful for you. Again, thank you so much for your support of my channel by liking and commenting and subscribing, even sharing my videos. I appreciate you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!